everyone, my name is Lisa. I am the chef at Revive Wellness and My Viva Plan, and today I wanted to do a video all about eggs because eggs are a very good source of protein. They're very versatile, really easy to prepare. Most of us have them in our homes. So I wanted to show you 5 different ways to prepare eggs today. So the first way that I'm going to show you today is in like a muffin format. So this is a recipe off of My Viva Plan. It's called loaded vegetable egg cups. They're really easy to make. You can throw them in the freezer and pull them out for an easy breakfast or lunch or dinner at any time. So what I've done here already is saute some vegetables. I have broccoli, peppers, onions, and mushrooms. You can use whatever vegetables you have on hand. Just make sure to saute them to remove any excess moisture first so that you don't get your muffins a little bit soggy. So I have them all here. I have 8 eggs in a measuring cup here. The reason they're in a measuring cup is to make it a little bit easier to pour them into the muffin tins after. I'm just gonna add a tablespoon of milk to that and just some salt and pepper. Keeping it really simple today. If you want to add some different herbs and spices, go right ahead and get creative. So just a little bit of that in there. Just gonna whisk that up. And then I'm gonna take my vegetables here and then just evenly distribute them between all the the muffin cups here before adding the eggs. You can also add it right into the egg mixture, but I like to do it this way because then I know that there's going to be some vegetables that end up, an equal amount of vegetables that end up in each of the muffins. So I'm going to continue and do the rest of those, but I'm just going to show you the first 4 here. So I have this all whisked together here. And you just want to pour that over top of your vegetables, really easy. And then we're going to pop them in the oven at 375 and just bake them until they're set. I'm going to fill those about 3/4 full because they do puff up a little bit in the oven. So like I said, 375 in the oven, and we're going to bake those off until they're just cooked through and set. And then you can eat them as is for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can put them in a wrap. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. So this is kind of a different way of eating eggs that you may not have tried before. They're kind of like a mini quiche without the crust. It's a great way to sneak some veggies in there as well. So that's the first way. So I just pulled those egg muffins out of the oven and they just look really, really good. So here's what they look like. You can see all those veggies in there. So I'm kind of tempted to eat one of these right now, but I'm gonna hold off. I'll put them in the freezer to pull out later. So now the next one I'm gonna move on to is a recipe probably most of us are familiar with, scrambled eggs, of course. Super easy, super fast. But this one has a bit of a twist on it, just to show that we can kind of make it into whatever we want. This is another recipe on My Viva Plan. It is our scrambled garlic eggs with basil and tomato. So I've already whisked up some eggs here, and I have tomato kind of ready to go, which I'm going to add to it. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of it out so I can sprinkle it on top at the end. And same with my basil. I'm going to put that in and just leave a tiny bit behind. And then I have my garlic. I'm just going to put all of that in there. Mix that up. I love making scrambled eggs for an easy lunch when I don't know what else to make. Scrambled eggs is always my go-to because it just comes together in minutes and it's nice and filling. So I put a little bit of canola oil in my pan here. You can use butter if you want. Sometimes you can even get away with no oil at all if you want, if you have a nice non-stick pan. So I have my egg mixture here that I'm going to add. And with eggs, you usually want a pretty medium-low heat. You don't want to overwhelm it with too high of a heat because it can really start to brown too quickly and can give some off flavors. And you want to stir it, but you don't want to stir it too vigorously. I think that's one of the main issues that people have with scrambled eggs is that they just stir it a little bit too vigorously. So I like to just kind of gently give it a stir every few seconds or so, and then just leave it alone for a minute and let it kind of set up. The other thing to keep in mind with scrambled eggs is I like to take it off the heat just a couple seconds before it looks like it's all the way done. So it might have a little bit of a sheen to it, looks a little bit like there's a little bit of moisture in there, and then it continues to cook as it sits. So even off the heat. So I kind of like to take it off the heat before it has a chance to get to that really kind of dried out stage, depending on how you like it, of course. If you like them a little bit more cooked, you know, and a little drier in texture, then by all means take it off the heat before. And you can also do it a little bit less too. It's really, really up to you. So this is already almost done here. It takes seconds, as I'm sure you all know. Scrambled eggs is a pretty familiar recipe that most people know how to do. It's kind of foolproof. You can't really mess it up. So that's pretty much done right there. Might not be able to see all the way from over there. I'm gonna put that on my plate now. Of course, the tomato does add a little bit of moisture here too, which you don't normally get in your scrambled eggs. I'm just gonna sprinkle it with some of that basil that I had set aside, and just a little bit of the tomato as well. Just think it looks pretty, and you also get that really fresh flavor from the tomato. So it's kind of what it looks like there. So just another way to make scrambled eggs. You can always do it plain too, of course, but the sky's the limit with these things. So here's one other idea of how to cook eggs. Okay, so the third way I wanted to show you how to do eggs today is in an egg salad sandwich, another super easy way to prepare eggs. So I have already cut up a hard cooked egg here. This is another recipe that's actually on my Viva plan. You don't really need a recipe to do this, you can kind of just wing it, but if you're looking for some specific ingredients to add to it and the amounts, that is on my Viva plan as well. So I have a cut up hard cooked egg here, and then in this bowl I've measured out some, I put mayonnaise in here today. The recipe on my Viva plan actually calls for Greek yogurt, which I don't have right now because the store didn't have any, so mayonnaise is okay too. A little bit of mayonnaise, I have green onion, I have a bit of celery, garlic powder, onion powder, dill, and salt and pepper. So I'm gonna add that in here, and then it should just kind of mix up nicely. You can also add a bit of lemon juice in there if you want a bit more tang, a little bit more of that fresh flavor. This is another go-to recipe that I use a lot when I'm stuck for ideas. You can cook your hard-cooked eggs at the beginning of the week, keep them in the fridge in the shell for up to a week. So it's really nice if you make a batch of them, and then you can have them for a snack during the week or make different lunches with them. So I often do that. So I have my mixture all done up here. I have a piece of toast. Of course, you can do this as a closed sandwich, but I'm a good Scandinavian girl and I like an open-faced sandwich myself. So I have a piece of toast, whole wheat toast here. Spread out my mixture here. Couldn't really be much simpler than that. That is your egg salad sandwich. Kind of a crowd pleaser too. I find lots of people like egg salad sandwiches. Even kids tend to like that. So I think you all know what they look like, but I'll bring it a little closer to show you there. You can put a piece of lettuce on there if you want, or some sliced veggies to add a little bit more veggies in there. But that's just yet another way to prepare eggs. It's super easy. That came together in about 45 seconds. So you can do it too. Okay, so the third way I'd like to show you how to prepare an egg today is another recipe on my Viva plan, and it is our recipe for avocado toast with a basted egg. So I'm going to show the first part first, which is super simple. I have a piece of toast that I've already toasted, and then I have an avocado. I've cut it in half. I just wanted to quickly show you my method for getting a nice piece of avocado out with it. I don't actually like to scoop it out with a spoon because I find that you leave a little bit behind on the skin. So I like to cut it in half and take the seed out, and then cut it in half again, right down the middle. And then I like to just peel the peel right off, like that. So you end up with a quarter of your avocado, just like that, and it gives you a nice, perfect piece of avocado. So you don't have to worry about scooping it out. So that's the way I like to do it. So this recipe, you can either slice it nicely and sort of fan it out on your toast, or you can mash it and mix it with some salt and pepper and kind of make it sort of like a pseudo guacamole if you wanted. So I'm going to do the slices today because I just think it looks really pretty and it's a little bit simpler. If you're short on time, this is really, really quick to do. So beautiful with that bright green color. Just gorgeous. So I'm just going to add those on there. And then just a bit of salt and pepper. Keeping it simple. No reason to complicate things here. Okay, so that's ready to go. And now I want to show you part 2, which is how to do the basted egg, which is also super simple. Okay, so to make the basted egg, all you really need is an egg, some water, and a frying pan with a lid. So I have my frying pan all heated up here. My egg, I'm just going to add that right in gently. You don't want to break the yolk if at all possible. I'm going to season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Optional, of course. If you don't want to season it, you don't have to. It's good as is as well. And then I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of water. And this essentially is just going to steam my egg. So I'm going to now cover this, turn it down to low. I'm going to let that cook for, depending on how you like it done. I like mine a little bit runny still, so it's probably only going to take a minute or two. If you want it fully cooked, you might want to give it 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Okay, so I'm giving you a shot of my avocado toast here, and I'm just going to add my egg on top of that here really easily. Nice and gentle. And that's it, really. That's all it takes. And because it's so satisfying to see, I'm just going to poke this yolk and get it to do its thing. How good does that look, right? The easiest lunch or dinner in the world. Okay guys, the 5th and final way I want to show you today how to prepare eggs is our asparagus and egg breakfast wrap. This is also found on my Viva plan, so check out the recipe on there. I have already started the asparagus and some garlic cooking in my pan here. I put the lid on to kind of steam it a little bit. Once your asparagus is nice and tender, just starting to get tender, I like a little bit of crispness still in my asparagus. Then you can add your eggs and cook it kind of like your scrambled eggs again. Takes about 30 seconds and it's done. So we'll just finish that off right now since I think it's ready to go. So my asparagus is nice and bright green and my garlic is really fragrant here. So I'm going to add my eggs. This should cook almost instantly. It's actually just a single egg with some salt and pepper and a bit of milk. And then yeah, it's already almost cooked. That's how fast it is. And again, feel free to switch out any vegetables you want in here. Asparagus is in season right now. It's springtime, so why not use it if we have it available to us? But use, any leftover cooked vegetables you have in your fridge. Just about anything will work. So that is pretty much cooked right there. And now I'm just going to show you how to assemble it. All right, so how to assemble it? Super, super simple. I'm going to transfer my egg mixture to my tortilla. I love breakfast wraps, and even though it's called a breakfast wrap, have it any time of the day. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or a snack too, it's great. Okay, so I have my eggs on there, and I'm going to add a little bit of cheese. Get that on there pretty quick so that it actually melts a little bit. Whatever cheese you want works here. And then I have some tomato slices that I'm going to add in there for a little bit more veggie action, some more flavor. And then all you have to do is wrap it up. So, easiest thing in the world. I'm going to cut this in half so you can see it. It might not be perfect, but there you go. So we have our breakfast wrap. Super, super easy. Yet another way to make eggs. So that's it. Let me show you just all of my egg dishes that I've made today to kind of recap what I went over today. And excuse my video skills here. Hopefully it's not too shaky. So we have our egg salad sandwiches. We have the egg muffins, the scrambled eggs with tomato, basil, and garlic, the avocado toast with the basted egg, and then the breakfast wraps with asparagus and tomato. So just wanted to give you guys some ideas for how to cook eggs because I just love eggs. They're so versatile. It's a great source of protein. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. You can make quiches, frittatas, put it in baking, so many different ways to prepare eggs. So I hope that this gave you some inspiration. And now if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of eggs to go eat. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.